Today, I want to speak about something that is very close to my heart. How to live with disability. And this is just not theory, this is practical. I know what it means to live with a disability. I know what it means to be underestimated, to have stares, to have people overlooking you, or to have people talking about you. But I also know what it means to rise above all these challenges and build a dream life. What is disability? Disability is when a condition, let's say mental, physical, developmental, even sensory, makes some activities or doing something harder. But just because it's harder, it does not mean it's impossible. There are different types of disabilities. There's neurodiverse conditions such as autism and dyslexia. There's chronic illnesses such as diabetes. Okay, a lot of people will fight that. There is physical disabilities such as spinal injuries, problem with limbs like mine, and anything that affects your physical being. And there's a sensory disabilities. That is something that affects your hearing, like loss of hearing. And yeah, I bet you know someone who lives with disability. Who is that person? If you are the one, or you know someone you love and they're living with disability, this video is for you. Let's think about it. Do you know someone who is living with disability? If you are the one living with disability, or someone you love is living with disability, this video is for you. Let's walk through this journey. Let's talk about it. And even as we start this video, I want you to know that disability does not have a particular way how it looks like. It can be very visible, it can be very physical and very visible, like someone sitting in a wheelchair, but it can also be something else, like chronic pain and illness or depression. Disability comes in different shapes and forms, and you cannot put a stand on how exactly it looks like. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Brightstar, and this one is just not another star. This one is beautiful, bold, brave, brilliant, bright, and a little extra. Bright by name, bold by purpose. Bright by name, star by nature. Built from grass to grace, rising through scars, and refusing to dim. Online here, I am not just Brightstar. I am your online bestie. Here we laugh, we shine, and we grow together. So if you're here looking for the laughter, or for the lessons, or just something a little bit extra to brighten your day, you are in the right place. Life is too short to dim your light. So if you've ever lost your light, I hope you find some of it here. And that is why here, it's all things bold, all things Brightstar. So what is my story and what is my journey? I was born normal. Yeah, I was born normal. But I think after I was born, God looked at what he had created and he decided, no. This one would be a menace to the society. This one would be a big problem. She is beautiful. She is talented. She has everything. So I have to get back and take one thing from her. And that's what exactly happened. I had an accident. And the plaster was done the wrong way. And we were too poor. We were too poor to afford reconstructive surgery. There were two options: to sue the hospital they did my bandage the wrong way, or to actually be taken to a better, bigger hospital for my hand to be fixed. But we could not afford both. So that is how I got my disability. As a child, how was it? It wasn't really a big deal. You know, when you are a child, all you care about is the basic needs and going to school. But it actually influenced my journey because it's the reason why I went to school before I was of age of going to school. The doctor that was attending to me told my grandparents, this child might take a lot of years to get used to using the left hand. So we are actually taking her to school before she is of age. So even if she takes a lot of time to write, she can actually still be of age when she starts school. And that's how I started school. I think the doctor was trying to compensate for the hospital because he also taught me how to write. He taught me how to write A to Z, 1 to 100. So before I even joined school, before I was even of age, I knew how to write. And I was a bright student. Joining school was a little bit, I was not of age, but I remember almost everything. I think my brain had to develop faster because, this was a traumatic thing that actually stayed in my mind. And I remember as a child, the time I started discovering I was different was now as I went, as I grew older, and then I could see the stares, I could see the whispers. I was a member of a church dance choir, and every time I would dance, you'll find people are staring at me, they are pointing at me. And also as a child, I started realizing that disability is just not physical, it's emotional too. Because the emotions that you go through and how people actually stare and make it a big deal is not easy. But I remember as a child, I made a promise to myself that I was going to work so hard so that no one would focus on my disability. Then it happened. My mom came when I was few years shy of being 10 years. Few years from 10. I will not say the age here, but she came. And the first question she asked was, what happened to my daughter? What happened to my daughter? I gave birth to another daughter. And she said I could not be her child. She's like, this cannot be my child. I want my child back. And of course, as she processed the emotions, as she processed the feelings, I remember her staring at me and telling me on my face, I've healed now. I can't share this. Ha! I've healed. That's what healing does, but I used to hide it. So I remember her looking at me and telling me on my face, I really tried to get rid of you when you're in my stomach. So how about, I really tried to get rid of you when you're in my stomach, only for you to survive and come and become disabled. You should have just died instead of becoming disabled. And I think that is when now it hit me. And I remember telling her, Mom, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to work hard. But then she was not hearing any of it. And I do not blame her. On her defense, I do not blame her. Because in the village, who wants a child with disability? It's considered a curse. It's considered something that is not, like it's a curse. Like it's not something that people want to associate with. And I think she was just so young and she thought that it was going to be an embarrassment to her. I wasn't fully aware of my hand until I joined high school. That's the time now I started trying to hide my hand. I did not want to be associated with this. And that's the time I got depressed. My first depression came when I was in high school because I noticed in the whole school, I was the only one who had a problem with my hand, and that did not sit well with me. And disability shaped me. Having my hand shaped me. Because unlike normal kids, I was constantly reminded by my grandparents, especially my grandfather, and he would always tell me, unlike other girls, if you get pregnant, you're going to need a nanny. You're going to need someone to help you. So you better make your decision wisely. And when I look at it, it actually helped me be the Brightstar I am today because I knew I will not have kids until I'm financially stable. And I will not have kids until I can afford to pay that nanny myself. It shaped me in so many ways, but it also depressed me a lot. And when I went to campus, I was now overly depressed. I started hiding my hand. I would pose in photos like this. I just started being aware. Like I felt like everyone was looking at my hand. And the problem with life is the more you hide something, the more that people say. So the more I hid, the more people would ask. It reached a point I was not attending to events. I was not attending to places because I did not want anyone to ask me what's wrong with my hand. Then, to make matters worse, it's my right hand that has a problem. So that means anytime I greeted someone with the left hand, they would always ask, what's wrong with your right hand? What's wrong with your right hand? Oh, giving someone a left hand is a problem. You should not use there was a lot of stigma around there because people think that you're supposed to use the right hand and not the left hand. And honestly, that made it harder and harder, and my depression only increased and became worse. And I remember by the time I was leaving campus, I was an emotional wreck. I was like, I do not want to live. I did not say when I was in high school I had a lot of, suicidal thoughts. I did. I was like, I do not want to live my life like this. So I kept on telling myself that I do not want to live my life like this. And in campus, it's when it now broke me. I was like, how am I supposed to live my life with everyone staring at me and everyone asking about it? The first stage about dealing with my hand was actually the painful stage. Where there are stares, low self-esteem, bullying, you do not feel you're enough, you do not want to live anymore. I went through that. And I remember writing letters to myself and telling myself I do not think I can actually live to see other years. I remember telling my campus friends, I was like, in case I ever commit suicide, please take care of my grandparents. I kept feeling that I could not live I could not live my life like this. And it wasn't because my hand was a big deal. It was because I just did not want to constantly have to explain myself what happened to me. I just did not want to constantly tell people what happened with my hand. I did not want to give people the stare, like the hand and then they stare. It was just so much. And then came the healing stage. The healing stage was tough. It was when I decided that I was going to accept it. And it was not me who decided, actually. It was the families, actually, it was the family I lived with. Her name was Mama Rose. She's the one who would always check on me when I'm doing videos, the photos, and she's like, don't hide the hand. And every time I was broken and I would go and someone comments on my hand, I would go home to her and I would cry. And she would read the Bible for me and she would pray for me and she would tell me my hand will not define me. It also helped me a big deal, living with her and realizing that she had her 2 hands, but she did not have to cook or clean or do what. She had people doing it for her. So that removed the village mentality that I had. Like, without my hand, I could not be married. Without my hand, I could not do things. I was like, okay, fine. She does not have her hands, but she has her 2 hands, but she doesn't do this. So if I don't do them, it does not mean, I'm in a position. Does not mean I'm a lesser than. And the healing was tough. I wrote letters to myself. I almost cried. I wrote letters to myself. I cried almost every day. I told myself that I could not do it. And the biggest mistake or the biggest breakthrough that came through was I participated in this reality show where I showed my hand and everyone started talking about it. And it reminded me why I kept hiding my hand. Because everyone was now talking about it. What happened to your hand? I did not know your hand was like that. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's why I hid it in the first place. And now depression kicked me. But you know what? The reason I learned fashion, the reason I stopped the reason why I went to someone and asked them to teach me fashion is because I was depressed and I was hiding my hand and I wanted something I could do that did not involve my hand. So you see, fashion became my breakthrough. Loving fashion and just being able to dress up and show up in places shifted the focus from my disability to my clothes, and everyone was asking, who dressed you? What are you wearing? And now, so I realized fashion could be the escape. And since then, I've never looked back. Right now, if you ask someone about Brightstar, they're going to tell you, Brightstar, the one who dresses up in suits, not Brightstar, the one who has a hand. And what does that teach you? It teaches you, sometimes your disability will be your biggest breakthrough. I am such a good writer. I write very well. Why? Because I learned to write because of my hand. I am such a good speaker because I would read books and disappear from people. My disability made me. It actually built me because I am also such a good hard worker. No, not really a good hard worker, but I'm such a hard worker because I know with my hand, I just have to have money. Now, what are the actual steps of dealing with disability? I am doing this video and I wish I got someone to tell me these steps. So let's go. First step, accept yourself. Start saying, this is me and I am enough. Stop wishing to be like someone else. Accept this is who you are and, be proud of who you are. And trust you me, for the longest time, I would get to social media and I see all these girls, all these beauty influencers, all these girls who have their hands and, they're beautiful and they have everything. And I always wanted to be like that. But do you know what that did to me? That only broke me. That only made me feel not enough. That only made me compare myself more and more. That only made me hate my life and wish to live someone else's life. It took me a long time to accept myself. And honestly, I sort of understand why I did not accept myself for the longest, because when I was a child, the doctor promised me that when I get money, it was going to be possible to do my hand. And so I lived with hope. I wish when I was younger, they told me that it was never going to be possible. But I was told if I got money, it will be done. And I lived with hope. So the reason why I was really broken and I could not accept myself is that when I was a teenager, when we were living with Mama Rose, she took me to a hospital. And that hospital said my muscles had wasted away. And that meant, it could never be done. And even if it was being done, maybe outside. I think they were just trying to give me hope, but their reality was that it could not be done. And that broke me. I could not accept that. I knew all those years that I was going to be okay, and then now I cannot be okay. So that messed me. That's actually where the depression hit deep. Like, that's when I hated myself. I did not want myself. I did not know how I was going to live. I became suicidal. It's because now I did not know how to process those emotions. I was going to live my whole life like that. So you have to accept yourself. And I know it's hard. I'm not just telling you, I'm telling you from experience. It took me years. So it doesn't matter how long it takes you. But every day, have words to yourself. Remember, you have to reshape your thinking. Like, I am good enough. I am okay, and I can do whatever I want. Honestly, the biggest reason that I never wanted to be myself is that I always wanted to be a social media star. I always wanted to be a big star. I wanted to, the glamour, the cars, all those things. Not really the cars, though. Mostly the glamour. Like, I just wanted to be known and walk in a room and everyone's like, that's Brightstar. I just wanted the fame since I was a baby. And now I kept feeling with my hand, I could not have that. And I wish, honestly, I knew that accepting myself will not only heal me, but it will also inspire other people to show up in spaces. I wish I knew that, and I pray that you do that. If you have a condition, probably, that you cannot see online, and you want to be a social media star, or you want to be something, maybe a doctor or lawyer or something, you should actually accept yourself and tell yourself what? You know what? I am going to be the first one. I am going to be the first one in that field. Like, I am going to be the first one with this condition. And then you put the effort. But it starts with you accepting yourself and teaching yourself that you do not need to be like someone else. Everyone has a disability. It might not be physical. Even those people you are admiring online, you never know what disabilities they are dealing with. And trust you me, some of those disabilities are worse than your physical one or the one that we can see. Accept yourself just the way you are. Build your confidence daily. Now that you've accepted yourself, you're gonna need to have words of affirmations every day. Words that tell you you are enough. I am enough. I have what it takes to shine. I will do great things in Jesus' name or in Allah's name. I will do this and this. You have to have words of affirmation every day. And you have to have steps that will actually help you build your confidence, such as dressing up. Dressing up is such a confidence booster. Like once you dress up, it will be such a confidence booster. You have to just have daily small habits that will build your confidence. And for myself, honestly, my small steps included reading the Bible every day and praying every day. Like, there's some even Bible verses that say, sometimes God made us weak so that his name can be glorified. That really helped me build my confidence. I'm like, okay, cool. I may be looking like this, but I was built for God's glory. So I was also able to have, write. I'm a writer, so I write a lot. Writing words of affirmations daily to myself. And I would tell myself, Brightstar, you're beautiful. And you know what? At that time, I would look at myself in the mirror and I do not feel beautiful. I feel ugly. I look at that girl, I'm like, oh, how are you supposed to be a star? But in reality, I'm trying to remind myself every day that I'm beautiful. Then dressing up. Dressing up was the therapy. I started posting my outfits online. I started doing little dances. I started accepting myself by just showing who I was through fashion. And that was like game changer. Fashion helped me build my confidence so much. And there are so many things that I did daily, speaking to friends, having mentors. But you have to every day have some small steps that will build your confidence. Remember, you're coming from a background where people have broken that. People have made you doubt yourself. People have whispered, they have talked, they've made you feel bad about yourself. But, you can actually build that again by small steps daily. Baby step, one at a time. Adapt, don't quit. Honestly, that's the biggest mistake I ever did. Whenever I could not do something, I would always quit it. And I would feel so bad and I would have all these emotions of okay, now how are you supposed to live like this? How are you supposed to live like that? But then as I grew, I learned to adapt to things that I can do. For example, I cannot lift weights with both hands, but I still work out once in a while. I still go to the gym and I find ways of working out, maybe putting the weight here or just doing things that don't require me to lift weights with both hands. Another thing is I cannot do my hair. And for the longest time, it used to make me cry. Every time I would want to do my hair and I'm not in a position to do it, I would break out and start crying because it will remind me that I cannot do this. So what I do is that I have someone who helps me with doing my hair every day. And, you know, I've accepted that being helped is actually a privilege because when I'm being helped, I can actually do other things, yeah? I can prepare for YouTube videos, I can write, I can research what's going on. I have more time for myself because I am being helped. I cannot button my shirt. You see, if my hand was workable, like if these fingers cannot really move, you see, like they can't move. So if they could move a little bit, at least they would help me. But it's like, it's sort of not so useful unless you want to put something here. And so I cannot button my shirt, so I have someone help me with it. I cannot iron my clothes. I tried ironing, but I will take 5 hours. And after some time, I was like, okay, this life is not for me. I was not born to suffer. I am God's child. I was born to be happy and to just enjoy. So I have someone helping me to, you know, do my clothes, iron my clothes. And at some point, I almost stopped dressing up in suits, especially because I kept feeling it was really frustrating me. But I adapted. I do not quit dressing up in suits. I just adapted and have people helping me. What else can I do? There are so many things that I can do. Again, cooking. I can't remember the last time I cooked, but I can cook. There was a time I was living with just me and my cat, and I was cooking for them. And it was taking me like 3 to 4 hours to prepare a meal because chopping the onions, chopping the tomatoes takes me time. And by the time I'm done, I'm actually tired. And I'm not going to eat that food. Like, I'm going to be super, super tired. I'm not going to do that food. So I have people who help me with doing that. And you see, you adapt. The things that you cannot do, you do not quit them. I did not quit social media. Every time I want to record myself and I'm alone, it really takes me some time. Like setting the tripod. Unless it's a smaller one, I cannot do a lot of things by myself. So I always have people helping me. So you adapt, yeah? What is it that you can do? Adapt. Like, do not quit. You just have to find ways of surviving. Like, ways of living with your disability and doing things. And sometimes it can actually be a blessing in disguise. Because you know what? This girl might not use her hand, but she uses her brain so much because it's through the brain that she can lead people. And then these people can help her physically where she is weak. Surround yourself with the right people. I'm gonna say this. I have a grandma who really loves me and a grandma who understands how my journey has been. So she's my bestie and she's been around. She's always sharing me. Even right now, she refused to live in the village. She is always somewhere where I can access her. And honestly, that has been such a blessing because never have I ever felt alone. And I've also had a privilege of having the right mentors, people who see the strengths in me. I did not start doing videos in social media before someone told me. It was one of my clients who told me to start doing videos. He was like, Brightstar, you have a lot of energy. I cannot imagine your whole life without people knowing you. And he said, I know fashion and design is a good thing, but I do not imagine you spending the rest of your life with tailors locked somewhere. You need to be all out here. You have beautiful energy and you have, you're going to be a big star. It's a client who told me that. And I've had people who actually believe in me, people who see my talents, who see my public speaking skills, who see my writing skills, who see my hard work, and they do not focus on my hand. And you need that too. You need to have the right people around you because remember, majority of the people will actually judge you. They will misunderstand you. They will stare at you. They will just not, give you the right energy. You're gonna need, when they take away from you and they stare at you and make you feel not enough or not adequate, you're gonna need to go to people who fill your cups, people who, believe in you so much more than you believe in yourself. You're gonna need that because the world can be a little bit difficult if you have a disability. But then if you have the right people around you, you will not even remember you have. You will always know that, okay, I've got this. I can do whatever I want. I can be a star. I can just do whatever I want. Surround yourself with the right people and let go of the wrong ones. Even if it's in a relationship, make sure your partner is your biggest support system. Like it's someone who believes in you, not someone who keeps telling you, I have to push you around. No, not someone who breaks your confidence. No. You need to have the right people, starting with your partner. Protect your mental health. Sometimes the real disability isn't what we have in our bodies, but the real disability is how we let people's opinions cripple us. You hear that again? Can you hear that? Sometimes the real disability is how we let people's opinions cripple us. And you're gonna have to protect your mental health. Remember, everything we do in this life starts from here. It stems from here. If your mental health is right, then you're able to do things right. If your mental health is not okay, then you're not able to do that. So you're going to take steps to protect yourself. There's a toxic family member, there's a toxic friend, there's a toxic person who makes you feel bad. You cut them off and you block them. You are showing yourself in social media and there are these negative comments. Block them unless you've healed. If you've healed, you'll be like, look like them. And they're like, is that how your mind is dirty? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm feeling sorry. I am the one who has a disability, but your mental disability is very disturbing. You know, you're going to look at those comments and like, and then leave them. But if you've not healed, have someone handling your social media and let them block the negativity. And don't go to read comments in social media, because I've realized social media is a very toxic place if you have a disability. There are people who are always bent on reminding you about your disability. If you go to my social media, you're going to see some comments. What happened to your hand? Sometimes they pretend they are asking. Nah, they're not asking. They're actually telling you, oh, you know, you're pretending here to sing, you're pretending here you're dressed up, but have you forgotten? It's like they're reminding you, have you forgotten you have your hand? And now I look at those comments, I'm like, not today, Satan. You're not distracting me today. So you're going to meet a lot of people trying to discourage you. And as I've said, if you've healed, you just let it be. But if you've not healed, do not read those comments. And journaling helps you process emotions. Journal. If you have to go to therapy, go to therapy. Like, talk to someone, talk to your friends. Meditate every day, you know, prayers. Whatever it takes to keep your mental health safe, that's what matters. And remember, sometimes it all starts with you protecting your mental health. Once you do, there's nothing else you can't do. There are a lot of people who have everything, their hands, their legs, everything. It's perfect. But they are mentally disabled. So you thank God that your mind is functioning properly and make use of your mind. Then protect it. Do not anyone make you feel any bad. Laugh more. They say laughter is the best medicine, right? You have to learn how to use dark humor. You know, sometimes I'm gonna just joke about my hand, and I'll tell my team, you know, unlike you guys, I have to work hard because I only have one hand. You know, and the other day I was talking to my grandma and I was telling her, I was trying to help her with her wash, and I was like, Grandma, you know I don't have one hand, like I cannot help you because I have one hand. And then even I said about my cat who died, Sarah, and I was saying, you know, we are birds of the same feather because we have, like, you have to learn to use humor. You have to learn to use humor. Because you know why? The moment you start making fun of yourself, not the bad fun though, like not the fun that makes you feel not capable, but the fun that you're just making a light moment of the situation, trust you me, it stops being a big deal. You just have to share try and be humorous. Like, watch comedy. Like, try and, I am a comedian by nature. Those who are close to me know that I'm actually a comedian by nature. Like, I will just joke and throw jokes. It helps you diffuse the situation. Like, it takes away the focus from you and your disability to the other person. Read books, like, become so good with your speech, such that, unless, of course, you cannot speak. That's also certain type of disability. But if you can't speak, you can also become very good with your writing, Like, there's always something you can be so good at and throw humor at it. And people are just gonna be attracted to you. We get attracted to people because of how they are. If someone is funny, it doesn't matter if they have a disability. You want to be around them. You want to laugh. We all want to laugh. Be patient with yourself. I want you to know this. Healing, confidence, and success takes time to build. It might take you so much time. So you have to be patient with yourself. You have to know every day that you show up, you are actually winning. Every day that you step up and you show up, you're actually winning. And there was a point I was expressing before, and I was saying, I've just noticed in this video, I've been so comfortable with calling myself someone with disability, or, using the word disabled. I know they say disability is not inability, we are just able differently. And I was that kind of a person who was like, no, I do not have a disability. And trust you me, if you as my friend tried to bring up the conversation about disability, we would have I would hate you. I would not want to be around you. Like, I would avoid you because I constantly kept telling myself that I did not have a disability. And you know what that did? It only made me hurt because you would find someone come in and like, oh yeah, you have a disability. I'm like, okay, I do not have a disability. I worked so hard. I tried to live a normal life. Even in campus, we used to be given houses, people with disability. I never went for one. Like, I just wanted to be, not someone with disability. But now, as I've said, it has taken me 23 years. 23. Now at 23 is a time I am actually accepting. Like, okay, it's not a big deal. So give yourself time. It's gonna take you time to heal. It's gonna take you time to show up confident. It's gonna take you time to just, be successful with accepting yourself. And it's okay. The good thing I'm grateful for is I've had my journey online in social media. So I can look back and see, oh, I was not confident at all. Sorry, somebody called. But I was saying, it has taken me so many years for me to accept myself. And when I look at my photos, when I look at my older videos, where I was posing like this, where I was hiding myself, where I doubted myself, I'm like, oh my goodness, Brightstar, this has been such a journey. And trust you me, I would have wanted to be a global sensation when I was a teenager. That was my dream. I wanted to be a big star when I was young. But you know what? Having a disability did not let me. Because I was hiding and I did not want people to find out. And the more people know you, the more they know there's something you're hiding. So I had to let go of that goal. And this is the time I'm chasing it. And I'm like, okay, it's all right. You're not ready for that. Because if I blew up overnight, maybe I became a global star and I grew up overnight. I blew up overnight, I was not ready for that. Like the negative comments in social media, the mean words, they would have broken me. But right now, I am ready for that. Even if you say what about me, I do not care. Like, it takes you time. Give yourself time and show up daily and remind yourself daily that, okay, I'm gonna do this. I can overcome this and I can live a fulfilling life. And while at it, when you're giving yourself time, please get people online who have disabilities and they're living amazing life. I remember seeing Nick Vujic. I do not want to misspell his name, but I remember seeing him as a child, and I was so inspired. I was like, he does not have his arms, and he's living a fulfilling life. He has a family, he has his kids, and I was like, I'm gonna be like him someday. So these amazing people online, as you give yourself time, please check them and see their stories. There are people who are living amazing life and they have a disability. Share your story. Speak up with boldness, okay? Tell your story, whether it's in school, it's online, it's in a group where you go, it's in leadership meetings. Share your story. Your story might be the reason someone else doesn't give up, okay? And I am a living testimony about that. When I was extremely depressed, 2020, I was dying, is when I started my social media page. And you know what I did? I did not have anything else to talk about. Business was killing me. Like, I was broke. I was going through stuff. I had not even started my own business. I was still working under my former business partner. I was just in a mental mess. But you know what I did? I had my story, and I made sure I shared my story. I wrote about it. I did interviews about it before I stopped. Okay. Now, when it comes to sharing your story in interviews, you have to make sure you've healed, because I did not like how the media was trying to fix my story and focus on my mom. And that time I had not spoken to her. So I took a step back. I did not do interviews since 2022. And I've been sharing my story through my videos, through my, writings. And do you know what that did? That just healed me. It was so much therapy. Like, the more you share, there was a time I would just write and I'm crying as I write and then I post it. Then you see other people sharing their stories. You see other people sharing their stories and then you realize, okay, so people know how to feel, like people can feel my emotions. And honestly, that really healed me a lot. I've never been to therapy, by the way. I've never been to therapy. I once went for an appointment, and it was about business with my former business partner. So we were trying to find solutions about our partnership working and stuff like that. But then I stopped because, I traveled. I think I went to the United States. And then I realized the things I was being told in therapy, I was not ready to hear them. So you know, when you're going to therapy, if you decide to go to therapy, please be ready to be told. Yeah, be ready to be told those things. Be ready. And I was not ready, so I never went back. But I've never like been properly seen a therapist. I chose to like have online and sharing my story as therapies. And I've also had mentors. So my mentors, I think my mentors acted as mentors and at the same time therapists, because I would call them and cry and share my story. And like, I cannot live anymore. I want to die. I do not want to know. I don't have anything left for me. Yeah. So sharing my story was my therapy, and it really helped me. And you know what that did? You cannot imagine the number of inboxes I've gotten from people who have kids with disabilities. I remember this particular story where a lady reached out to me and she told me she was hiding her 8-year-old daughter because she had a hand like mine, but because she had seen I had become a success and I was inspiring people, she was going to start showing her daughter. Do you know what that means? A child being hidden for 8 years, only for the mom to see me succeeding online and decide that she's not going to hide that child anymore. She's going to enroll her in school. That was like the one I was like, okay, I'm going to keep sharing my story. I have gotten a lot of, messages from parents, kids who have issues with self-esteem, and they would want me to meet their parents. Unfortunately, I was also fighting my mental health disorders. Not really disorders, but, depression. I kept getting anxious and depressed. Like, I never healed fully until now when I've started this channel. Like, I've never healed fully. Like, I kept breaking, I kept lapsing, I kept relapsing. So, you know what that means? It means that you heal with time, but sharing your story helps you heal loudly, and it helps you bring other people with you. I'm not bragging, but I want to brag. Do you know how many kids are named Brightstar? I think I'm starting to become, oh my goodness, I'm spoken like a comeback. A big impact in the community before I even become a global superstar. And you know what that means? I'm going to become a global sensation. There's no way. There's no shortcut. Like, I have to become one. Because a lot of kids are going to be named Brightstar. Like, in the next 10 years, you're going to have a lot of Brightstar around you. It's going to be a name that every child is using. Why? Because I share my journeys about overcoming my disability. And so can you. You inspire people, you heal, you become a force to reckon, and you also help yourself as you help others. Keep dreaming big. Disability does not mean that you're disqualified. Disability does not mean disqualified. Do you know how many big dreams I have? Sometimes I forget though. I forget who I am in my big dreams, and I'm like, okay, I'm just a girl with a problem with my hand. But don't be like that. Have big dreams in fashion, in music, lifestyle. I want to be a big content creator. I want to be known all over. I want to have a big business and provide employment to, thousands of people. I want to write books that will touch generations. I have big dreams because you know where the dreams come from? From the heart. God puts them in your heart and in your mind. It's not in your hand. It's not in your disability. No, your dreams come from you and your creator. So he gives those dreams for you because he knows you can actually execute them. And I have big dreams. And you know what? I'm not going to rest until you see this face everywhere. Okay, someone just told me I was bragging and I'm back again to bragging. But that's what I'm saying. Have big dreams. Like, do not limit yourself just because you have disability. Like, just know that if they are doing it, you can do it too. You might need a lot of help. I have a lot of help around me. Like, even when I'm dressing like today, I have, someone to help me dress up. I have someone to shoot me. I have, like, so many things. I have to be helped with small, small things. And you know what I've done? I've said I'm not going to limit myself because of that. That means creating employment. That means I have to be so successful so that these people who are around me never go hungry or never go broke. So you have to, whatever the case, you have to dream big, because the more you go, the more people you help. And if you stay here and you say, okay, with my disability, I do not want anyone to see me, you're going to suffer. Your children are going to suffer. Your family going to suffer because they're going to have to take care of you. But if you dream big, you can always use your brain to, become the best version of yourself. See me dreaming, see me trying things, see me here. It's at night, everyone has gone home, but I'm here doing videos. Why? Because I have big dreams. My disability does not limit you, and so should yours. Allow yourself to be loved and to love. Oh, well, this is now an advice I'm giving from a point of just advice. I've not followed this advice. I have not followed this advice because I have never allowed myself to be loved. I have never, like, I have had exceptional young men, you know, like I've met great men, and they're like, I love you, Bryce, I want to marry you, Bryce, I want to date you, and I'm always like, no. Like, I'm not saying no, but I'm gonna run away. I'm always running away from people because I'm like, when I look at my wallet, I do not have money for a nanny, and I'm not gonna put my dreams and my future on you. And then one day you wake up and you're like, you're tired of me, and then what will I do with my children? So of course, probably I use the finances as an excuse, and because I'm scared. So I'm giving this advice from a point of just an advisor, not practically. But I hope one day I'm gonna take this advice as well. But if you have a disability, remember, the society has made you doubt yourself. Like, you do not feel enough most of the time. And you feel like you do not want to be a burden to someone. And even when you get love, I've seen it online, where people with disabilities get in relationships. And people go like, oh, that girl is just with him for money. Oh, that girl does not love him. Like, especially if it's a man who is doing something. People always, like, say that the girl is not with him for, you know, love but money. So a lot of misconception. There's a lot of stigma around love. I once posted myself, you know, and I'm a beautiful girl. Hey, you can say for yourself, right? I am a beautiful girl, and I posted myself. And I remember men were in my comment section like, are you dating? Are you single? And this one girl came and wrote there, do you love her, or do you want to eat her disability money? God knows, I have not benefited from my disability. Actually, I have this year. Like, I've not paid my business permit because they told me I'm not supposed to be paying. I'm supposed to be given a certificate that shows I'm not paying. But honestly, I've worked so hard. Almost every year I was paying the disability. I was paying everything. I've done everything for myself. Like, I've not gotten a lot of benefits just because I'm disabled. And this person just thought that this man wanted to eat my disability money. You know how that's great? Like, someone doesn't think that they can see this beauty, all this face, you know, this beautiful face, this beautiful body. They just thought that this person wants my money. So there's that. Like, there's a lot of stigma. But you know what? If you and your partner understand each other well, then who cares? Like, whatever they think, that's up to them. Do not let that negativity get into your head. Do not let the misconception get into your head. You deserve love. You are a beautiful person created in God's image, and you deserve love. You deserve to be cared for. You deserve to be pampered. You deserve to have someone who, you know, will be by your side when you guys are old and you can laugh about the memories. Yeah, so you deserve love, and allow yourself to love and to be loved. And know that it's going to be difficult, of course. It's not a normal setup where just few people meet, fall in love. No, you are going to take some time. And, but it doesn't matter how much time it takes. You need to be open to it. Because if you're not open to it, when it finally finds you. And now I was watching a video today online, and someone was saying, you do not find love. You do not go. Love is not something you go seeking for. But you actually work on yourself so much so that you can become a partner that someone would want, so that you can become someone that someone would be very proud to be associated with, so that you can become the ideal wife for someone, the ideal husband, and then love finds you when you're ready. And that's it. You work on yourself so much. You invest on your goals. You invest on your ambitions, on everything that you want, and trust in God. And when love finally finds you, because you're open to it and you believe that you deserve it, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. And you're not gonna run away from it. Yeah, like me. And I hope actually I can follow this advice. I hope I can believe that, you know, I can actually love and be loved. I'm always like, My mother told me with my hand. My mother told me on my face, you know, as a child, she's like, with your hand, no man will love you. She said that to me on my face. And honestly, I'm still healing from that. I've already healed. That's why I'm telling you, and I'm not crying. Have you seen me cry? And you know, the most interesting thing is I've also realized in this statement, in this whole video, no, that one I'll say in the next statement. Allow yourself to be loved. You have everything it takes. Scott Hamilton once said, the only disability in life is a bad attitude. And that is so true. If you think that you're normal and you have a bad attitude, you have the biggest disability. That's the only disability. And I want to tell you this, disability is not the end. Disability does not mean that you have to get stuck forever. Sometimes disability can be a start of a beautiful story. And sometimes those scars, the limp, the indifference will actually tell a story and has a story that will sometimes shine brighter than perfectionism. I mean, if I did not have my hand, or this hand that life gave me, I will probably be a very rude girl. I know, I have a possibility. I've seen that. Even when I'm doing videos, you can see there's some part of rudeness that can actually come out. But because I had my hand, it actually made me want to be a better person. It made me want to work on myself. I have learned that this hand that life gave me might have been very different, but it actually made me a better person. You know, if I did not have my hands, I would have probably not be the best person. I would be rude, I would be inconsiderate. You know, I'm a beautiful girl. I am very beautiful. And, you know, I would be feeling like, okay, I have everything. I have the talents, I have the beauty, I have the intelligence. But now I cannot do that because my hand made me work on other things, my communication, my friendship. I consider people, I love people because you know what it feels not to have one thing. So it built me to be a better person, to be a better leader, to be a better human being. And that's what disability basically does. So sometimes you just have to ask God to guide you and tell you why you have that disability. It might be for the better part of the community. It will better the community. You know, you can start a foundation that will help the community. You can also help other people. You can start a business like me. You can do a lot just because the disability was placed in your life to take you the direction that your life was meant to do. And now to the society. I want to tell you this. We do not need pity. If you find anyone with a disability, they do not need pity. We do not need pity. We need opportunities. Give them an opportunity. Give them a job. Give them a recommendation. Give them an opportunity to better themselves and to prove to you that they can. Because most people with disabilities, they can actually do a lot. Like, they just need someone to believe in them and give them that opportunity. We do not need silence. We need inclusion. We need to be included in policies, in places, in businesses, in opportunities. We just need inclusion. And we do not need to be overprotected, especially this goes to parents. If you have a child who has a disability, please do not overprotect that child. Let them be. We need to be allowed to grow, to feel, and to just discover who we are without you constantly reminding us that we have a disability. We do not need stigma. We do not need all those, things that actually make us feel more secluded. We need to be part of something, part of a community. And if you do not know where to start, when you see someone with a disability, please start with an hello. Like, not an hello, sorry. But maybe the dictionary can can excuse mine because, can excuse, I am stammering now. Anyway, it's because my points are heavy. They're pregnant. Anyway, so as I was saying, if you don't know where to start with someone with a disability, please start with a hello. Say hello to them. Do not stare. Do not make them feel misunderstood. Do not ask a lot of questions. Remember, most of the people who have disabilities have not healed. Right now, if you walk to me and ask me what happened to my hand, then I tell you I had an accident or ignore you. I've healed, but not everyone has healed. It's a journey, and it's a journey that takes a lot of emotional strength, and not everyone takes that. Some people are still in their 50s and 60s, and they have a disability, and they're still healing. Okay? So you start with friendship, you start with hello, you start by including them, you start by giving them opportunities, but you do not start by feeling sorry for them. No. You can have other conversation to speak about other than the disability. Do not stare. If you see someone with disability walking, please don't stare. You can say hello and smile. Maybe you're curious, but don't stare so much, because once you stare, you bring other people to stare. And so, we need to be included. We need to be treated as if we are normal, because we are normal. Our brains are normal. We just have things that are not functioning properly, but we can actually do it. Like, we are here. We can shine. We just need you to treat us as normal and give us opportunities. Please, 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 if your company is hiring or you have a business, please try and give at least one person with disability a chance. They do not get a lot of opportunities because a lot of people don't think that they can do a lot. But hey, they can do so much. We have come to the end of our today video. Thank you, my online family, for watching. And if you are there and you're living with disability, I want you to know disability is not a different way of living. It does not define your worth. You have all it takes to do all the great things in this life. And I want you to know that your story is unique because God created you to be unique, and He wanted you to share your journey, to share your story and touch lives. So you better rise up today and start building whatever dream that you have. I want you to know that disability is not the end of the life. Like, disability can actually be a start of your new life. You just have to reframe your thoughts, reframe your mind and your thinking, and decide that starting from today, I'm gonna see what positivity can come out from this disability. It's hard. I'm gonna tell you it's hard because this is my journey and I know how hard it was for me. But the moment you start looking at life from that angle, you're gonna see the gems that you've missed for a long time. It's waiting for you. And thank you for watching, and may we create a better opportunity. May we create a better community for the people living with disabilities, because we all matter. We are all created in God's image, and our disabilities does not make us different. We deserve a seat at the table. And if you are there and you have a disability and you don't have a seat at the table, you know what you do? You know what to do? You create your own table. You create your own table and invite your own people. So you either have a seat on the table, you either go for those opportunities that are available, or you create yours. And I believe in you. I believe in you. Please do not fail me. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye, besties. Bye-bye, online family. And see you in the next video.